Kalamazoo, where today we're inside University Arena for today's MAC meet between a couple of surging teams. We've got the Huskies from Northern Illinois and Western Michigan. And with that, we say hello and thanks for joining us alongside former Bronco gymnast Maddie Bonifiglio. Mike Monaco with you. And we've already reached the midway point of this season. Both teams coming off season-high meets last time out, Maddie, and gearing up toward March.
Yeah, both teams are coming off really good scores from last meet, and they're really looking for the improvements on the little details and to just increase that score just a little bit for every meet from here on out. Northern Illinois as a team has really taken a step forward this season. Great performance last time out at home against Bowling Green, and the star for them is Catherine Prentice, who competes all around, junior from Indianapolis. She's the reigning MAC Gymnast of the Week. She's got some big skills and she's flashy in competition. Yeah, she's looking to just really improve that bar score. She's looking really good on all the other events. So she knows she can do better on bars, and hopefully we see that today. For Western Michigan, meanwhile, Anna Corbett is the senior for the Broncos. She's been the rock for Penny Jernigan through the years, and she's been very reliable this year when there have been a lot of injuries elsewhere. Yeah, she's a really good starter for Western, and so she's just looking for that consistency and to increase her scores into the 9-8 range. So we've got Corbett and the Broncos and Prentice and the Huskies, and it's coming right up after this at Kalamazoo. Inside University Arena in Kalamazoo, there's Penny Jernigan as her Broncos go up against Northern Illinois. For both teams, the 6th meet of the season. Here we are in mid-February. The season's moving along. Both teams trying to peak at the right time. There's Penny Jernigan in year number 4 at the helm of this Broncos program. She spent 18 seasons as the associate head coach at North Carolina, and it's been a year full of injuries. We talked about that in the open, Maddie, but Western Michigan coming on strong recently. Yeah, they've had a lot of girls really step it up and just get thrown into the lineup, and they've done really good for all that pressure. Yeah, Penny Jernigan was thrilled with the performance last time out. And on the other side for Northern Illinois, Sam Moriali is in his 6th season as the head coach in DeKalb, originally from Addington, Illinois. And he actually walked onto the men's gymnastics team back in the 80s, later became a captain of that team, also spent 9 years as an assistant with the women's program before assuming that head role. Here's the Western Michigan vault lineup. Broncos on vault to start. Northern Illinois on bars. There have been some changes in the vault throughout the last couple of weeks, and like we've talked about with these injuries, but this is where it stands for now. Katie Jennings, the walk-on, will lead it off, and Rachel Underwood, who competes all around, will be the anchor. And we'll see a new vault today by Taylor Bice. She actually just got her vault 3 days ago, and she just clicked for her, so we put her in lineup. And for Northern Illinois on bars, this has been one of the best spots for the Huskies this season. They've been excellent there, according to head coach Sam Moriali. It's the glue that holds that team together. Megan Gilliam, Catherine Prentice, who we showed you earlier, Allison Richardson, Courtney Dowdell, Ashley Potts, and Jamira Carter. If you're new to college gymnastics, here's a rules refresher for you. 6 gymnasts per team, and then you drop the lowest score, so those 5 best scores count for each team on each event, and then the team with the highest cumulative score from the 4 rotations will win. You see the Olympic rotation order. Home team goes vault, bars, beam, and floor, and it's flipped with those first 2 and last 2 for the visiting Huskies from Northern Illinois. So we'll step aside here in Kalamazoo, and when we come back, set to get started. Western Michigan hosting Northern Illinois. And it's the team's annual breast cancer awareness meet. First 500 fans in today. Got some pink pom-poms. You see pink out all over the place here inside Reed Fieldhouse. Very good cause.
Yes, it is a very good cause, and it's a lot of pink around here, which is exciting for the girls, seeing all the fans get into the meet with them.
Yeah, you see some of the pom-poms. You were handing them out before we got started here. And at the conclusion as well, there's going to be a Meet the Team autograph session on the floor. So for Western Michigan on the year, 6th meet overall, averaging just about a 194 total score. And coming off their 2 best meets of the season. 2 meets ago, they were at home here against Eastern Michigan, went 194.9 overall, a top 20 score in program history, and then they followed that up last time out against Bowling Green with a 195.575, 4th best in Western Michigan history. So the Broncos come in with great momentum for this time of the year.
Yeah, they're really just looking to improve on the little details. They've had so many sicknesses and injuries, just random things, and they've had a lot of new gymnasts be able to step in and show everyone what they have to offer.
Northern Illinois, meanwhile, average score just a little bit higher than Western Michigan. 5th highest average among the 7 MAC teams, as you see Sam Moriali coaching up his bars group. They had a 194.875 last Friday, and Sam Moriali said we really brought a relaxed attitude to competition last time out, and it resulted in a strong score for the Huskies.
The Huskies have also lost, I think, 2 of their girls, I think, this week. So it's going to be interesting to see what their lineup will also look like this week.
Yeah, no Anna Martucci in particular. She's the anchor, arguably the best performer on floor for the Huskies. So we'll see that group without her in the 3rd rotation. Here's one more look at the vault lineup for Western Michigan, coming off a season high last week of 48.85 for the Broncos. Katie Jennings, the sophomore walk-on from Rochester, Michigan, across the state. She will lead it off. Stepped up as a freshman last year on vault. We'll see her later on floor as well. But this is what she was recruited to do.
And this is a Sukahara full. And a great vault. That's a great way to start the meet.
Great landing for Katie Jennings, who's coming off a 9.725 in the last meet for Western Michigan.
And she actually starts with a 9.9 start value, so a high score is really hard for her to get, so she really needs to focus on the landings, and that was a really good way to start.
Show you what just happened on bars from Northern Illinois. The teams are not alternating today. Megan Gilliam
and
from
nice
Fishers, Indiana. That's a great landing for the senior to start it off.
Yeah, they're going to be very excited about that one.
So here's Audrey Merritt. Penny Jernigan told us really right before the meet she didn't know if Audrey Merritt would be healthy enough to go. She's been battling an ankle injury the last few weeks, but she is in there, and she was in there last week as well.
Yeah, it looks like she's battling through those ankle injuries. She actually hurt both of her ankles, tried to come back from one, and then sprained the other. So hopefully she gets this vault out and gets a good landing.
She's been reliable for Western Michigan through the years. Senior from Sherwood, Wisconsin.
And this is going to be a Yurchenko half. Really good height and a great landing. She's going to be very excited about that.
Very good landing. We saw her in warm-up. She came up a little short, but a much better result when it matters here for Audrey Merritt, the senior. Over on bars, this is Catherine Prentice, who we showed you early on, junior competing all around.
Coming up on the dismount, a double A, and a little bit of a step, but it looks like a really good routine.
Told you Bars has been the best for Northern Illinois this season, coming off a score for the team of 49 last weekend. And Sam Moriali said it's the glue for us. We really trust this unit.
Yeah, and getting those sticks are really important on every event. They really add up and make your score a lot higher.
Here's Taylor Bice, freshman from Holland, Michigan. And if you remember that name, it's because right there in the background in the pink, that's her sister, Jessie Bice, who in her career was excellent on vault. And this is Taylor Bice's debut on vault just a few days ago.
Yep, she just a few days ago, it just clicked for her and she just got the full. And it actually looks identical to Jessie Bice's, which is crazy.
Freshman who was sick in the fall, but she has come on strong recently.
Great height, and a little bit of a stumble on her landing, but she's going to be excited that she got that vault in 3 days. That's incredible.
Yeah, Penny Jernigan said, we saw her in practice and we had to put her in based on what she did in that performance a few days back.
Yeah, and that'll improve with more practice. It's hard to move environments from just the practice to the competition. It's way different.
Over on bars, this is Allison Richardson, freshman from Marysville, Ohio.
Looks like she fell. She's going to look to really finish the routine strong. You want to try to finish the routine as strong as you can because you might have to count it depending on if another gymnast falls. They are, I think, the third person up right now, so they still have 3 to go.
First couple of scores were very strong for the Huskies. Megan Gilliam had a 9.8, and then Catherine Prentice a 9.775.
It's a very nice Jaeger. Going into her bail. Oh, not a bail. She's setting up for a dismount. And that was a pretty good landing, so hopefully she still gets a pretty good score with that.
Yeah, good way to bounce back there for Allison Richardson on the landing. Up third for Northern Illinois on bars. Show you what just happened on vault for Western Michigan. The senior Brittany Aragon from Flint.
And a super high, which is great, and just a small step back. She's been doing really good on vault these days. It's really clicking for her.
Yeah, they've had her focusing just on vaults in her senior season. The Yurchenko full there for Aragon. There's Anna Corbett, who we showed you at the top, senior from Geneva, Illinois. Has had an excellent career at Western Michigan and competes all around once again in her final season.
She'll be competing a Yurchenko layout full as well, and she's really looking for the stuck landing. She's been really trying to get at these last few meets, but it takes a little bit of a step or a little bit of a hop.
She truly is an all-around performer. Penny Jernigan said vault is probably the best event for Anna Corbett. At a 9.775 last time.
Great height and a stuck landing. She's going to be so excited about that, and hopefully you see a really high score out of that one.
You can see the explosiveness, the height, the depth she got down the mat. And Anna Corbett, an excellent job on the Yurchenko full, which has that 9.95 start value. Here is one more look at Anna Corbett.
She gets a great block and so much height and so much distance and just sticks the landing.
While we wait on Rachel Underwood, the anchor for Western Michigan. That was a 9.75 for Anna Corbett.
Seems a bit low.
And one of the judges had a 9.85, the other 9.65.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a confusing score.
So we'll keep it here for Rachel Underwood. Sophomore all around, coming off an excellent freshman year.
Great height, a little bit of a step, but that was a great ball. It's very powerful. She has improved immensely from this year to last year.
Yeah, 3 events last year, all around this year for Underwood out of Cary, Illinois. So Courtney Dowdell went on bars for Northern Illinois, and now this is Ashley Potts, another all-around performer, the junior from Oakwood Hills, Illinois. And she's really come into her own in her junior season, and Sam Moriali said that's somewhat rare to do that as an upperclassman, but she really has, and a stuck landing.
That was a really high dismount. They're going to love that. Once you stick one, it kind of is contagious for the rest of the team.
Sam Moriali said she might not be the flashiest gymnast, but it's just hard to find deductions for Ashley Potts.
Yeah, she has great form, really tight lines everywhere.
So exhibitioning here for Western Michigan, Danny Bizbekis, freshman from Dearborn Heights, who earlier this season was stepping into the vault lineup when Audrey Merritt was injured, and right now still working in the exhibition slot.
She gets great height and a really good landing.
Good depth for Western Michigan on vault as Bizbekis goes for the Broncos. Jamira Carter is the anchor for the Huskies on bar. She's getting set to follow Ashley Potts. A couple routines ago, it was Courtney Dowdell. She had a 9.85, and that's what she is quite capable of, the senior. Before that, Richardson, we showed you her fall, a 9.225.
So it's a lot of pressure in this situation because you don't want to count another fall, so it's going to be really hard for her mentally to get through the routine, but she looks like she's really confident.
Yeah, she's one of the 2 studs on bar. She has been flirting with that 10-0 range this season, had a 9.9 earlier in the year at Oregon State.
Yeah, she has great lines. And another stuck landing. Those are contagious.
Well, we said it earlier, the bars are the glue for Northern Illinois, and after that fall from Richardson, they still had a few more to go, and they got great results there to start this first rotation.
Yeah, so they actually get to drop that score, which is great, so they're still going to have a really high overall bar score.
Back on vault, Lauren Vandenberg, exhibitioning for the Broncos, senior from here in the state.
And she has a great layout vault, so high. She's just such a great teammate to have around. Brings a lot of energy.
Yeah, definitely one of the most well-liked on the team. Yeah. Lauren Vandenberg closing out vault for the Broncos. Amanda Bartemio, freshman from Plymouth, Minnesota, for Northern Illinois. That was a 9.925 for Jamira Carter, an excellent score following up Ashley Potts, who had a 9.875. So this is a great way to start for Northern Illinois on bars.
This is a pretty solid routine so far. She's just trying to get some more confidence in her and in the competition. And that was a great dismount, a great stuck landing. That really makes a difference in the overall team score. So those stuck landings are really, really important.
So for Northern Illinois, on bars with still one more exhibition left. It's going to be a 49-225, a season high score for the Huskies.
That is a great way to start a meet.
Western Michigan, meanwhile, 48.55 for the Broncos on vaults.
That's also a really good way to start the meet, and hopefully they can build on that throughout the other events.
Emily Bussar will close this out in the first rotation on bars. Sophomore from Gurnee, Illinois.
And into a Jaeger bail. She looks like she's just trying to get her confidence up on bars, get this routine into the competition environment. She's doing very well. And a great stuck dismount. The Huskies are doing a great job on sticking those dismounts.
What a great way to start for Northern Illinois on bars in the first rotation.
Gymnastics fans, we had 3 Bronco gymnasts that scored a 9.7 or higher, so we've got some of these free pink t-shirts.
So we're a quarter of the way through in Kalamazoo. The Broncos with a good showing on vault. Excellent work from the Huskies on bars. When we come back to Reed Fieldhouse, we've got Northern Illinois jumping over to vault and Western Michigan on bars when we come back. For Northern Illinois on bars, we go now to the second rotation. Western Michigan moves over to bars now, coming off a season high last week of 48-9. And a different look to the bars lineup for Western Michigan. Some pieces getting shifted around. Taylor Bice, the freshman who we saw on vault, she'll lead it off. Rachel Underwood now in the second position.
Yeah, you really want to put those girls in first that you know are consistent and that are going to hit, and then you want to build from that score. So you put your more difficult routine last, hoping to get that a higher score.
That's Jessie Pescick coming up on bars. Here's the vault lineup for Northern Illinois. Also a season high last time out, 48-7-5 last Friday. Amanda Bartemio will lead it off.
And a nice Yurchenko half, quite a step out, but that was a really good start. That was really powerful, really high.
Back to bars now, Taylor Bice, the freshman from Holland, Michigan.
She's really stepped it up here. She's stepped into a lot of positions. Oh, and she put her hands down on that dismount, but hoping we won't have to count that score, but it looked like the rest of the routine was really good, so if we do, hopefully it's still a high score.
Yeah, solid work elsewhere for Taylor Bice leading up to that double tuck dismount. So for Northern Illinois now, back on vaults, Megan Gilliam, the senior from Fishers, Indiana, had been slated to do an exhibition routine, but Courtney Dowdell was scratched from the vault lineup here in the second slot just prior to the meet. So Gilliam steps in.
Her start value will be a 995, I believe.
It's been mostly vaults and floor for Gilliam throughout her career. And here she goes.
And Yurchenko full with a great landing. They're going to really like that score.
Great work for Gilliam following Amanda Bartemio. Back on bars, Rachel Underwood, the sophomore, competing all around.
She's really stepped up on bars too. She just put that into her resume this year. Last year she did not compete bars, but she's working really hard on it. And a nice stuck landing. That was a really good routine for Rachel.
Terrific landing for Underwood, who spent the offseason, like you mentioned, really working on bars. She added that to her repertoire this year. A lot more strength for her coming back in her sophomore season. There's Cindy Lamberti, freshman from Grays Lake, Illinois, just northwest of Chicago.
She will also have a 9.95 start value.
She had a 9.675 her last time out.
And a very high vault, almost a stuck landing. They're going to be obviously very happy about that one.
Yeah, you can see the freshman is thrilled. Strong landing for her, up third on vault in this second rotation. Now back on bars with Kelsey Hood. Had a broken foot over the summer, then had a strained glute, and she's been trying to work back from. All around early in her Western Michigan career, she's working on a great routine here.
She has very good form and very consistent for the Broncos. And a great landing again. Those are contagious.
Kelsey Hood nails that for Western Michigan.
That's going to be a really good score for them. And they also, it's really hard when someone falls in the beginning of the lineup to keep the momentum going. And they're looking like they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, Taylor Bice led it off, 9.15 her score after the fall. But a great response so far from Western Michigan. Andy Van Voorhees, junior from Columbus, Ohio, is here on vault, returning a regional qualifier from last year as a sophomore.
Oh, wow, really good height, and I would say an almost stuck landing.
Nearly perfect,
Yeah, really good form. She was so tight and really nice leg form, no bent knees.
Megan Gilliam had a 9.65, and that was Andy Van Voorhees. Mentioned the rocky start for Taylor Bice for the Broncos on bars, but a great follow-up to that was Rachel Underwood with a 9.775. We saw Kelsey Hood's performance. And here's Anna Corbett, the senior.
She's been really consistent on bars since really freshman year.
Came back and improved her bars routine from her junior season a year ago.
She has great lines. Everything, it's really important to hit those handstands. So far, she's doing a great job of that. We're looking for a really good dismount here.
Here it is.
And a little bit of a step, but that was a great routine for Anna.
Catherine Prentice.
Oh, and a little bit of a step on the landing, but that was a really good vault. It's one you don't see very often.
Yeah, it's got that 10.0 start value. And she had a 9.825 with it last week. The reigning MAC gymnast of the week. And Sam Morreale said she's really the total package for us. Back on bars, Jesse Unchai getting set to go. And by the way, Kelsey Hood, a 9.85.
That is a great score. You want to just keep those scores climbing throughout the lineup.
We talked to Jesse Unchai earlier today. You saw part of that conversation. And she said bars is probably her best. It has been in her career. And you can see how loose she is getting set to go.
She's doing some dance moves before she goes.
It was a 9.825 for Anna Corbett, so 3 very strong scores in a row for Western Michigan after Bice led it off.
A great handstand.
Broncos
Right
really hit their
into-
handstands on bars last week.
Yeah, they did. She's setting herself up for her dismount. Another awesome handstand. A blind full into a double flyaway with a stuck dismount. I would call that stuck. They're going to be very, very excited about that one. She's been very consistent this year.
Jessie Yunchai, excellent work. On vault for Northern Illinois, Ashley Potts all around her routine as the anchor.
And that was a great open vault. She really spread out on her landing. Those vaults usually score the highest.
It was a 9.775 for Potts. This is Allie Ferber, sophomore from Woodbury, New York on Long Island as the exhibition.
Oh, and a nice half Yurchenko. That was a really good landing for her.
Back on bars, Jessie Peshek ready to go. One of the other Jessies on the team, Jessie Yunchai, just had a 9.875. And now the anchor, Peshek, who's got a very difficult routine, but she has been killing it in practice, according to Penny Jernigan.
Yeah, she has. She just put in a new dismount, and she's also one of those girls who are really consistent.
The double layout dismount with that E difficulty skill coming up for Jessie Peshek.
She's looking for a stuck landing, hopefully. Oh, and a little bit of a step. That was a really beautiful routine.
Upgraded that routine, a ton more difficulty, working with Al Sharns, one of the assistant coaches for the Broncos, who's really a great technician on bars. And Jessie Peshek closes out bars for Western Michigan.
That was a great way to end the bar lineup.
There's Al Sharns, assistant coach for Western Michigan, who does excellent work with the Broncos on bars in particular.
Yeah, the girls really love having him on the team. And a great score for Jessie. I see 199.
Northern Illinois closing it out with an exhibition on vaults.
Yep, and that was a really good vault. Took a little bit of a step on a landing, a little bit of her chest was down, but that was really nice.
Kendall Carlson, junior from Ann Arbor, who's also been battling some injuries, a bad heel bruise for her, but had still been training on bars, and she's got a difficult routine as well.
Yeah, she does, and she's really, really improved on her hitting her handstands. I mean, it's like night and day. And now she's setting up for her dismount, which has been giving her a little bit of a trouble lately. And a lot of height. It was beautiful. That was really great for Kendall.
Kendall Carlson follows a 9.85 for Jessie Peshek.
It was a great bar rotation.
So Northern Illinois, a 48.6 on vaults in our second rotation. Western Michigan on bars, 49.175. And we're at the halfway point in Kalamazoo. So it's been good so far. Northern Illinois and Western Michigan. More when we come back right after this. Western Michigan, the Broncos pull very close, a tenth of a point behind Northern Illinois. The Huskies started well on bars. We're at the halfway point as Penny Jernigan's Broncos inch back closer. And earlier today, we caught up with the head coach of the Broncos.
You know, the spirit of this team. if that's what only that one meets, we would be national champions because this group, they just take cohesion to a whole nother level. They went out there at that away meet. They did come off of the Eastern meet with a lot more confidence, and they went out and just, they weren't perfect, but they picked up the ball whenever they needed to, and the energy level that they had the whole time was really, really amazing. They have responded really well to having injuries, and it's actually made it kind of fun because every week there's a little bit of drama, you know, adding into each one of the lineups. And last week it happened to be Kelsey Hood, who hadn't done beam since Max last year, and we put her in because we had some injuries. And when she nailed that routine, just the whole team, we all started crying. It was really, really exciting. So those adversities, they've been there, but they do keep rising to the occasion with them. It was awesome. And that whole meet at Bowling Green was just punctuated with those kind of performances on every event. You know, and Katie's floor routine, she nailed the double pike right at the end. So we were already excited, and then for her to stick it, it was just, we were just over the top, you know, and we just took that energy with us all the way around the meet. We had so many heroic performances. And I told the girls this week, you know, we have to celebrate our heroes and our sheroes, because we had so many sheroes at that Bowling Green meet. You know, Audrey Merritt making her vault, and she's not 100% yet, and coming back and doing that. And our freshman Taylor Bice moved into the leadoff position on bars, and she had a bit of a rough beam warm-up, so to come out there and just carry herself with such poise and get us off to a great start, that was awesome. And then Kelsey closing the deal for us at the end with that clutch performance that she hadn't done beam in a year. So that was, you know, so it's
rotations, and the Broncos are within a tenth of a point of Northern Illinois after the Huskies got off to that great start in the first rotation. We go now to our third rotation. The Huskies will be on the floor. And here's the group for Sam Moriali, who said, floor and bars, those have been the two most consistent events for us this season. There's the lineup with Paige Nicholas leading off, Courtney Dowdell as the anchor, with Catherine Prentice back there as well. And for Western Michigan on beam, Anna Corbett is in the leadoff spot. Jessie Peschick is the anchor. A couple of seniors there for the Broncos.
Yep. It's really important on beam to have a solid person to start off the lineup to boost the confidence of the rest of the team.
Western Michigan last week on beam of 48.925 for the Huskies on floor. Terrific showing last time, 49.2 season high. And they've come pretty close to a program record. Sam Moriali said that's something he talks about with his team, them trying to set the program record, which right now is at 49.275, so they weren't too far off that last week. The judges are now ready, and Anna Corbett will lead it off on beam. You talked about how you like starting with someone reliable, a senior like Corbett, and Penny Jernigan said she takes this role seriously.
Yeah, she's a really good starter for beam. It's really hard to be in that first position. She's done a great job all 4 years.
And the wobble and the fall there, so Corbett hops back up.
That's very strange for Anna, but, you know, mistakes happen and you have your team to pick you back up. She just needs to finish the routine really clean, just in case they do need to counter score. She is a very clean gymnast.
Not easy to get back up there and try to finish it out.
No, lots of nerves.
4 inches.
Here comes her dismount. It was a really good landing. It was a really solid routine other than the series for Anna.
See the frustration from the senior Corbett, who leads it off for the Broncos on beam.
Yeah, after that, you just got to kind of move on and get ready for floor.
Well, we saw how Western Michigan bounced back on bars. Taylor Bice fell as the leadoff in the second rotation, and it turned out to be an excellent event for Western Michigan.
Right. As Penny said, it's not, you don't have to be perfect, but you got to just do what you can do. And hopefully that's enough at the end of the day.
Ashley Potts will go second for the Huskies on floor. Paige Nicholas, the sophomore from Cleveland, had a strong routine to get it going. Potts, the junior, who Sam Morreale said is the hard-working, scrappy type. She's not exceptionally flashy, but like we said earlier, it's difficult to find ways to deduct points from her.
Yeah, she looks like she's a very powerful gymnast. Here she goes into her second pass. Front handspring, front full, front layout. Oh, and she really tried to save that. That was a really good effort. Yeah. And now she's going into her last pass. A front handspring Rudy, which is a full and a half. That was a really good routine for her. It was really clean. If they do have to count it, it'll still be a higher score.
Yeah, good recovery from Ashley Potts, up second for Northern Illinois. Here's the end of the performance for Rachel Binkley live on beam.
She had a really good series. So far, so good for Binkley.
Only on beam right now, had a lower leg injury a couple of weeks ago.
A great stuck landing. That was very good. It's really hard to go after a fall on beam. It's really hard mentally. And she really did a good job. She stepped it up.
Very good on beam for Binkley, the sophomore from Phoenix, and they placed her second in the lineup because, hey, Anna Corbett's going to graduate at some point, and she'll be stepping into that leadoff role eventually the next couple of years.
Yeah, she'll be really good to lead off, too. She's always very consistent, very clean.
Amanda Bartemio, freshman from just outside of Minneapolis, is up next for Northern Illinois.
So as I said, it's hard to go after someone who did fall. So she's probably have a little bit more pressure on her right now. But hopefully she comes through for the team. Her teammates kind of doing her dance behind her. That's always fun to watch. And a great double A. That you don't see that very often in college gymnastics in the MAC. That was beautiful. She looks very powerful.
Two events for Bartemio. We saw her exhibition on bars as well. A very exciting freshman for Sam Moriali.
And her second pass, that was really nice. She seems to just be having fun with her routine, which is the best ones to watch. She's getting ready for her last pass. Ending with a really nice double back. She looks not even tired at all. That was a really good routine.
Great job by Amanda Bartemio halfway through the floor rotation for the Huskies. As we go back to the beam, Kelsey Hood just barely caught herself to stay on. Very important for Western Michigan. And this is an interesting spot for Hood, who you mentioned the glute injury earlier. She'd only been on bars, but they really needed her on beam last week. She hadn't competed on beam in a while, but she nailed the dismount last weekend.
Yeah, she had been having a lot of trouble with her dismount, and you have a lot of adrenaline when you're competing, so it didn't seem to be a problem. Here she goes for a dismount. She does an interesting dismount and leads it off with a back handspring. And a great dismount. That was great for her.
Stuck landing for Kelsey Hood.
She seemed a bit nervous on the beam, but she got it done. The rest of the team is really backing up Anna Corbett here.
Yeah, really just like we saw in bars, backing up Bice.
Yeah. They do a great job working as a team. They're like more sisters than anything.
Yeah. So next up, Brittany Wenzel, senior from Hilliard, Ohio, outside of Columbus. And the start for the Huskies on floor, Paige Nicholas 9.65. The fall for Potts, so that was a 9.125, but then Bartemio a 9.75, the freshman.
Yeah, they're doing really well on floor, and that was a really good opening pass. Her teammates seem to really get into it with her. That gives the girls a lot more energy.
Again, no Anna Martucci, who is sick, out with the team. Very good on floor. She's the anchor, so we'll see how the Huskies respond.
Here she goes in her middle pass. Double pike, really good. Lots of energy. That was a really good routine for the Huskies.
So good work for Northern Illinois. 2/3 of the way through on the floor, and now we go back to the beam with Jessie Yunchai.
Jessie has those really beautiful lines on beam because she's so tall.
5'8" junior from Shelby Township.
Here she goes for a series.
She hops back up, tried to catch herself the way Kelsey Hood did just previously.
She seemed to be off from the beginning. It's hard to really bring that back. Here is her dismount, an aerial into a back full. It was a beautiful dismount.
And a great landing for Jessie Yunchai.
BMU last year was a really good event for the Broncos, and I think lineup has been switching up a lot lately, so it's making it a little bit more difficult for them to be as consistent as they would like to be.
Yeah, Maddie, what's that like as a gymnast when sometimes your spot in the order is going to change a little bit, or maybe you're not in there entirely and you're coming in cold sometimes? What's that like, that adjustment?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, especially for beam, because it's more of a mental event. So yeah, you want to keep the lineup as consistent as you can for beam.
And we talked to Penny Jernigan today. She said we're getting closer to that point in the season. I mean, it's almost mid-February, so you start to decide as the season moves along and you get closer to March. Catherine Prentice now on floor, all around the junior from Indianapolis.
She's one of those gymnasts who really loves to perform out there on the floor. And into her second pass. That was a great front double full. That's actually an E. That's really impressive. That's her second pass.
Yeah, the hardest difficulty for Prentice.
And now she's getting ready for her last pass. And it's a Rudy and a great landing. That's going to be a really high score for the Huskies. That was a great job.
Yeah, great work for Kat Prentice. Back on beam with Rachel Underwood.
She just did a really, really good series. No wobbles.
Couple of 9.05s for the Broncos with the falls for Yunchai and Corbett as Underwood able to save herself.
Yeah, she's been having some consistency problems in the gym, and you know that happens on beam. Sometimes you just get in your head. But she seems to be pulling it together today. She's really beautiful to watch. Here's her dismount and a great stuck landing. That was a really, really good routine.
Good job by Rachel Underwood, up 5th for the Broncos on beam.
And especially a lot of pressure on her with that routine. She did a really good job.
It was a 9.85 earlier for Wenzel on floor for Northern Illinois. We just saw Catherine Prentice. And back to the Huskies. Courtney Dowdell, senior from Linwood, Illinois. Banged up her ankle recently, so we saw them rest her on vaults again today. And she had a great end to her junior season last year, and she built on that, got off to a great start. Earlier this year was the MAC Specialist of the Week.
And that was a great double pike to start the routine. Super clean. She has really fun music. Seems to enjoy herself out there on the floor.
That's what you get from the anchor on floor, and as we told you earlier, this has been a good spot, a great event for the Huskies.
That was a really good second pass, a front full right into a front lay. For some people, floor is just easy and it's just fun to perform. I definitely was not like that.
You got your teammates there, but it's still just you in the center of the arena.
Yeah, she seems to do really well. And do her last pass, which is a Rudy. Again, a full and a half front. That was a really good floor routine. Good anchor spot.
Courtney Dowdell, the anchor there, now back on beam. Jesse Peshek just fell, so 3 falls for the Broncos, so they got to count 2 of those.
Yeah.
Tough rotation here.
You know, sometimes you just have those meets where it's not clicking, which is a good thing. You have a lot of meets in the season. They can drop the score.
Peshek, the senior from Indianapolis.
That was a really good dismount. One of the harder dismounts on the team. Now we just need to kind of forget about beam and move on to floor.
Coming into this third rotation, very tight. Just a 1/10 of a point separating these 2 teams. Allie Ferber, one of 2 exhibitions for Northern Illinois on floor.
And into her first pass, out of bounds. So they actually take that off the score at the end of the meet. And into her second pass. A roundup with half front full. That was a very clean pass.
She had a 9.675 exhibitioning on floor last time out.
Great double back for her last pass. Seems to have a lot of energy still. That was a great routine.
On beam, Taylor Bice, exhibition.
Going for her dismount. A beautiful routine for Taylor Bice. I didn't see her wobble once.
Great job by the freshman from Holland. Rachel Underwood had a 9.775. The Peshek fall resulted in an 8.975. So Western Michigan's looking at a 47.075, and they'll have work to do in the 4th rotation. Allison Richardson will close things out here in the 3rd rotation. Huskies on floor with one more exhibition. Courtney Dowdell, by the way, 9.825 is the anchor for the Huskies.
That was a great anchor score.
48.8 the total for Northern Illinois on floor.
And here she goes for her first pass, a round off back handspring double pike. It is beautiful. Into her second pass, like right away. Punch Rudy. That's also something you don't see that often without a front handspring in front of it. She's having a lot of fun with this routine. She's getting ready for her last pass here. And a round off 1.5 punch front lay. That was a really good last pass.
So Allison Richardson, very good job there exhibitioning.
That was. She's hoping to get herself into that lineup, and I thought that was pretty good.
So that wraps things up on our third rotation. Northern Illinois, another good showing on floor. Western Michigan's going to have some work to do when they take the floor. When we come back to Kalamazoo, it's the Huskies and the Broncos in this MAC meet. Northern Illinois adds to its lead some breathing room after a good floor showing. Broncos struggled on beam. We talked about Anna Corbett, senior leader for Western Michigan. We caught up with her earlier this week to talk about how she balances gymnastics and her nursing program.
Sometimes I don't even know. I'm like, wow, you really pulled it together. But I just knew for some reason, I went back and forth like when I was younger what I wanted to do and stuff like that. And I knew when I got here that I wanted to go into nursing. I honestly had no idea how hard it was going to be. People tell you it's hard and you're like, I can do it, which you can, but it's definitely difficult. But I think I take each day at a time, one at a time. So sometimes I get really overwhelmed and I'll call like my parents. I'm like, I can't do it. But they're always like, Anna, like, there's no expectations on you except for yourself. Like, I put a lot of pressure on myself, but they're like, no one has any expectations for you. Just keep taking one day at a time and you'll get through it. And that's what I do, and it works. I like the challenge. I think that actually helps me be more successful, is that I'm busy and it's challenging and I like to push myself. But I try not to think about it too much because it is hard. Yeah, I think it's definitely, that's a great way to look at it. I've actually never really looked at it like that, but it's definitely helped me, I think. I used to be kind of nervous, like going into patients' rooms and things like that, but like you said, I go out there and I do my events in front of judges, and just like that focus and preparation, knowing that I know what I'm doing. Like, I go to class, I know how to take care of these patients, I know what to do, and so just the same way I do it out on the floor, where I'm like, you've practiced this a million times. It's kind of the same thing in the clinical setting, I would say. I actually do better like when I'm busy, is what I've noticed. So it's been such a growing time here. I started off a little bit rough, and then I was just like, I went home. I went back to like my home gym after freshman year, and I was like, you know, you got to get back to where you were, because I had shoulder surgery before I came here. So I was like, you got to get back to where you were. So I worked really hard with my coach, and I came back, and it's a lot more fun now.
Road in Kalamazoo. Meanwhile, the Broncos trying to bounce back after a rocky beam showing as we go to the fourth rotation inside University Arena. Mike Monaco, former Bronco gymnast Maddie Bonifiglio with you. And let's check out the lineups for both these teams for this fourth rotation. For Northern Illinois on beam, Andy Van Voorhees leads it off. Megan Greenfield, another upperclassman, is the anchor. And for Western Michigan on floor, try to respond to that beam performance. Jessie Peschick in the leadoff spot. Katie Jennings has moved into the anchor for the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos are just looking to forget about the beam and focus on the floor.
How challenging is that after you know one of the rotations didn't go your way, but in some ways a clean slate?
Yeah, it's very challenging. It's hard to just forget about it, but you need to just have fun with the rest of it. You can't do anything about beam anymore.
So this is Jessie Peschick, senior from Indy.
A really powerful beginning pass. She's improved a lot on floor. She's a lot, looks like she has a lot more fun.
that came in really known for her bars and beam work, but stepping up on floor for the Broncos, had a 9.75 last week.
And a good middle pass. We got the girls in the back line. They call that the cheese line. Try to make the girl on the floor cheese a little bit. And she's getting ready here for her last pass, which is going to be a handspring front full and a half, also called a Rudy. She gets a lot of good height. That was a really good starting routine for Jessie.
The front layout and Rudy for Peshik to close it out, starting off in the 4th rotation. Show you the end of the routine to start it off on beam for Northern Illinois with Andy Van Voorhees, the junior.
And a back handspring to a full and a half, and that was a great stuck dismount. She really saved that stick.
Yeah, she did, and she sold it well, Van Voorhees out of Columbus, Ohio. So Penny Jernigan and the Broncos trying to finish strong here in this meet here in Kalamazoo. They'll be on the road the next few weeks. They go to Texas next Sunday for a quad meet, then in Chicago against UIC the following week, and then on to Ball State, and then finally back home in early March to host UIC and the Cardinals from Ball State.
That was a pretty high score for beam over there, a 9.825. It's a really good start.
Great job by Van Voorhees. So it's on to Anna Corbett.
She's going to start off with a double pike. Really big. She always has a lot of energy out of it. Looking to control that landing. And she does. That was a really good opening pass. Right into her second pass. Front handspring, front full, punch pike. Really good control, nice form. Really nice jumps. Some people don't agree, but those are like just as important as everything else. They don't seem like they would be, but you can take a lot of tenths from those, and they also give you a lot of bonus. Into her last pass. That was beautiful, stuck landing on her last pass. That was a really good routine for Anna. And she rose the boat.
Still allowed to do that here in Kalamazoo. Anna Corbett following Jessie Peshik.
Anna did a good job on trying to forget about the beam and moving on to floor.
Same with Jessie Peshik for the Broncos. 2 seniors, a couple of falls on beam, but a good response on the floor.
Yeah, they definitely have the seniority and to get through that.
Show you what just happened for Brittany Wenzel, the senior.
It's a pretty good dismount. I believe I did see a fall over there. So it's really important for this next gymnast up to get a good composure and get through the routine. Jessie's singing to get her nerves out. Seem to see that a lot.
Makes it seem like she's comfortable, even if she isn't.
Her way of calming herself down.
Jessie Yunchai, third up for the Broncos. Talked to her today. You might have heard her earlier saying, floor might not be her best, but it's her favorite. She loves performing out there.
Yeah, she's definitely a performer. Really fun to watch. And her opening pass here is a double pike. Great landing. That was beautiful. She always looks like she has so much fun on beam. Or I mean floor.
On everything, really.
Yeah. And do her second pass. Front lay, front full. Really good control. Her teammates in the back doing her dance with her. Makes it a lot more fun for the girl on the floor doing her floor routine, seeing her teammates cheer her on and doing her dance with her.
Yeah, Penny Jernigan was talking today about how cohesive this team has been. Here's the Rudy coming up.
Great dismount for Jessie. That was a really beautiful routine.
Jessie Yunchai for the Broncos. Allison Richardson just went on a beam for Northern Illinois, the freshman who we've seen a lot from today.
She had quite a wobble on her series, but it seemed she got the rest of her routine done really well. A little bit of a hop in the dismount, but it was really good.
Rachel Underwood getting ready to go, and she is excellent on floor for the Broncos.
Yeah, she's really fun to watch. She's also a taller gymnast, which some would think makes things harder, but she does really well with it.
Pashuk had the 9.55, and then Anna Corbett had a 9.75. First two scores in for the Broncos. While we're waiting on the judges, we'll pop back to the beam for Ashley Potts.
This is a really good series. Triple flight series, back handspring layout. Nice front layout. You don't see that very often on beam. And a good dismount. That was a nice routine.
Now Rachel Underwood, who's got a difficult routine herself. She starts out with a front layout double full. E difficulty for her.
Yeah, and it was really beautiful. She does it perfectly. And she also has an interesting second pass, which she did. It was really good. Getting ready for her last pass. Which is a Rudy, and a really good Rudy. Another really good routine for the Broncos.
Well, that's the bounce back they wanted after the beam showing.
It seems like they really picked up their spirits too, not dwelling on the past.
I mentioned it was a 9.75 for Corbett. You see Jessie Yunchai there. She had a 9.775, and then great work from Rachel Underwood up fourth.
The score just keeps climbing.
Catherine Prentice is up 5th for the Huskies on the beam. Andy Van Voorhees, you said it earlier, led it off with a 9.825. Brittany Wenzel had the fall, so that's a 9.0 for her. And then Allison Richardson had a 9.5. Prentice missed a lot of last year due to injury, but has come back strong.
And here's our series. Really good back handspring layout. She looks very calm on the beam, which is pretty difficult for some people. Really nice jump series. And she's getting ready for the dismount. Aerial, back full. That was perfectly stuck. Wow, that was a great routine.
All around, that was excellent from Catherine Prentice. Now back to the floor. This is Audrey Merritt.
She's doing a different routine than she usually does because of her ankles, but she's still really good on floor. Nice jump series there. And into her last pass. Round off whip half front full, and it was beautiful. Great routine for Audrey.
Even a smile for the camera as well.
Yeah.
So that was Audrey Merritt, 5th for the Broncos. Working on those ankle injuries, and you can see Penny Jernigan very pleased with her senior.
Rachel Underwood also posted a pretty high score on floor. One judge with a 9.9. The other with a 9.85, I believe.
Yeah, so 9.775, or rather 9.875 for Rachel Underwood. This is Megan Greenfield, senior from Crystal Lake, Illinois. We see for the first time one of the two beam standouts along with Catherine Prentice that we just saw.
Going for a series. Back handspring layout, perfectly on the beam. Full turns are sometimes the hardest skill in the beam routine. Doesn't look like it, but that was a really good back tuck. She's very solid on the beam, doesn't really look nervous. And to a dismount, a stuck landing. Really good anchor spot for her.
Last two were terrific from Catherine Prentice and Megan Greenfield for the Huskies. Now to the floor, this is Katie Jennings, and it's an awesome story for the sophomore walk-on who came in really just doing vault last year, and then just in the last 3 weeks or so, she has totally upgraded this routine. Last week in particular, it was excellent, a 9.85 for Katie Jennings.
Yeah, the team really loves watching her too. I mean, she's a crowd favorite and a team favorite. Always positive, always making people laugh.
Yeah, Penny Jernigan cannot speak highly enough about Katie Jennings.
She upgraded this last pass to a double pike. which she used to have first, and it's really difficult to kind of change her passes around, especially at the end of a floor routine, putting your hardest pass.
There wasn't enough difficulty a few weeks ago, so now the double pike coming up right here for Katie Jennings.
And she does it, and it's beautiful. The Broncos are going to love that.
We talked today with Penny Jernigan. She said she can't believe how high Katie Jennings gets on those. She looks up, she's a foot higher than everyone else.
Yeah, especially in the last pass, your endurance is completely diminished, and she pulls it out every time.
One of the most athletic kids on the team, Katie Jennings, closing it down for the Broncos on the floor. Now back on beam. Exhibition slot with Paige Nicholas.
Nice full turn. And a standing back lay, that was really nice. She's looking very solid on the beam, very comfortable. That's definitely what you want to see. And a round off, 1.5. That was a really good routine for her. She's trying to get in the lineup. Hopefully she gets there.
Yeah, that was a good follow to those last three for the Huskies on beam. Ashley Potts 9.775, Kat Prentice 9.825, and Megan Greenfield 9.8. Kira Hoy working her way back from an ankle injury, here exhibitioning on the floor.
She does a really beautiful opening pass, which is an E. Front double full. Oh, and it's beautiful. She had so much energy. She ran off the floor.
Junior from Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. She tuned in a couple of weeks ago. She was here with us.
She was. She loved it. A really beautiful second pass. She gets really high on that layout. That's actually what she injured herself on, was trying to upgrade that middle pass. She has also a really beautiful routine because she's so tall and long. Her team behind her did that with her. I don't know if you could see it, but
Whole squad getting involved.
great to watch. And she's getting ready for her last pass. It's a beautiful Rudy. Great routine for Kira. Hopefully she gets back in that lineup spot.
Yeah, Penny Jernigan said beginning of the year she was probably expected to be one of those top 6, and they're working her way back and hopefully back in there in the coming weeks.
After an ankle injury, it's really hard to get back into that lineup, but she seems to be doing a great job.
This is Jamira Carter, senior exhibitioning on beam.
Going for her dismount. A great dismount for her. 4.5. The Huskies did a great job on beam. They really picked each other back up after that fall. Didn't have to count a fall.
Yeah, great start. Wenzel with the slip there, and then those last three in particular, very good for Northern Illinois. It's going to be a 48-7-2-5 as a team for the Huskies there on that final rotation. For Western Michigan, meanwhile, 48-9 on floor to close things out. tying a season-high score set last week. So that does it for this one in Kalamazoo. When we come back, we will show you the final score. Northern Illinois and Western Michigan all through here in University Arena. Final, Northern Illinois, the win over Western Michigan for the Huskies. Look at that, 195.35, season-high score cumulatively. And then for Western Michigan, really outside of the beam where there were those 3 falls, that's a good score if you factor in that it was a good beam performance. So not where they want to be, but hey, otherwise great.
Yeah, it was a great meet for the Broncos other than the beam, and that's kind of an easy fix. I mean, just staying on the beam. Easier said than done, but that's really all they need to do. Everywhere else, they improved and they did a great job. And Northern Illinois is just climbing, which is right where they want it to be.
Yeah, Huskies go back home on Friday for a big one against Eastern Michigan. Broncos, like we said, are on the road the next few weeks and then back home in early March. So once again, that's the final. Northern Illinois over Western Michigan. So they'll hand out the individual award winners here. And hey, Maddie Bonfiglio, great job joining us here the first time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's it from University Arena. For our entire crew behind the scenes, for Maddie, for our producer Devin Doxey, Mike Monaco saying so long from Kalamazoo, where Northern Illinois tops Western Michigan. To watch this entire meet on replay as well as other events on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.